It's good to be back again on your screens with yet another exciting season of NSMQ Review Show. For the thousands of NSMQ fans out there, we say Happy New Year to you. We are fast approaching this year's edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz and Science Festival. And we know most of you are sitting at the very edge of your seats waiting anxiously for the start of this year's competition. We here at Primetime Limited are also preparing feverishly for the competition. We promise to bring you an excellent production this year, just like we've been doing over the years. You probably are aware of the balloting we did across the entire regions of Ghana. And you follow us on our various social media platforms, and many of the competitions or the fixtures we have promises to be nerve-wracking and exhilarating. On this and subsequent episodes, we will be perusing some of the fixtures across the regions and find out which of the schools are likely to gain a seat at this year's National Science and Maths Quiz. My name is Emmanuel Jiveno, and we are coming to you from the Primetime Studios here at Ashaliboche in Accra. My panelist is already in studio to help digest what we have for you today. And today we will be looking at the competitions we'll be having in Upper West Region, Northern Region, Northeast, as well as the Savannah Regions. And in studio is Stephen Yankee, and he is the program coordinator for NSMQ. Sir, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Congratulations on organizing another exciting competition last year. I want to find out from you, before we zoom into our balloting, what do you make of last year's competition?
I think last year's edition was really exciting. We loved the performance from all the schools, but especially the finals was what it was supposed to be. We saw the performance of the boys from St. Augustine's. Amazing story, how they started their run in the competition, all the way from the regionals through prelims and all the way to the top to win the ultimate. After they had lost out on the competition in 2018, remember, they were not in Accra at all in 2018. So their story is good. And during the balloting, we kept telling the schools in the various regions, try to learn from their story. And in fact, St. Peter's had a similar story, because when they also won the competition in 2018, they also started from the regionals. So it looks from the trend that maybe winners coming forward, maybe 2020, perhaps a school from the regionals would win it. We don't know, Absolutely. But let's see what happens.
Absolutely. And this year's competition has already been set rolling with the balloting for the various regions. Can we start with Upper West Region, where we had some some fixtures over here. So we have 6 competitions over here. And can you take us through some of them?
Okay, so you know, Upper West, the region has 5 slots at the national competition, but they have 1 seeded school, that is St. Ignatius of Loyola Senior High School.
Most people refer to it as Lasia Tolo.
Lasia Tolo. So instead of going into the region to organize just 4 contests to select the 4 schools to join St. Ignatius, what we decided to do was to organize 6 contests at the first stage of the competition. Now, it doesn't mean that the winners of these 6 contests are coming to Accra. What is going to happen is that the winners of these 6 contests will compete again in 2 contests.
Absolutely.
So in those 2 contests, we'll have 3 of these winners in each of the 2 contests. The winners of those 2 contests qualify, and then we rank the 4 losing schools based on their scores. The top 2 would also qualify.
Oh, okay.
That way, the best schools from the region will come.
It's more or less like the Clash of the Titans.
Exactly. We do the same thing in the Upper East region, so we are introducing it this time in the Upper West region.
Yeah. Can we go closer to the contest and see how the pairing went? First contest, we have Queen of Peace Senior High School, Hila Liman Senior High School, St. Francis of Assisi Senior High School, as well as WA Senior High Technical School. We saw the first school, that is Queen of Peace Senior High School, at the national.
Sure.
Do you think it's a comeback for them again?
Well, they did well. I mean, they lost to Tepa Senior High School at the nationals last year. And you know, Tepa was not a bad side.
Absolutely. They were semi-finalists.
Sure. So Queen of Peace, in 2019 at the regional level in WA, they had the least score, the least qualifying score, 17 points was their score from the Upper West Regional competition. But among the schools here, it looks to me that Queen of Peace will qualify again. Our host was Senior High Technical School are hoping to qualify, but over the years, the performance from WA Senior High Technical, St. Francis of Assisi, and Hila Liman have not been that strong. I don't think they may be able to match up to Queen of Peace. They have the experience. They've been coming to a regional competition. They've been performing. So let's see what happens there. And in fact, last year at the regional level, Queen of Peace and Hilary Man were in the same contest. And I mean, Queen of Peace won that contest. So it looks to me that they might win this contest.
Okay, shall we look at contest 2? We have a familiar face over there.
Yeah.
Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, so we have St. Francis Xavier Junior Seminary, Lambousier Community Senior High School, Wa Senior High School, and Logo Community Senior High School. They would clash in the second contest in the Upper West region. And
you know, it means two new schools are joining the competition this year. That is Lambousier Community Senior High School as well as Logo Community Senior High School.
Well, actually, Lambousier Community Senior High School is not really new at the regional level. They've been competing for a while, but they've not had an opportunity to qualify yet. Logo is competing for the first time this year. But in this contest, clearly, Francis Xavier has the experience. They have been.
You think it's going to be a walkover for them?
It looks to me that St. Francis Xavier Junior Seminary can win this contest without much difficulty. They qualified last year with 35 points. Wa Senior High School got 14 points. And so if you're even basing it on history, it looks already that Francis Xavier will move on to the second round.
But in the past few years, their progress has been a little bit shaky.
But they qualify each year.
Certainly,
yes.
But comparing their scores for which they use in coming to the national, you say this would also be a very good competition for Wa to also prove a point.
It's possible, you see, all things are possible. But based on the experience, the track record of Francis Xavier, the three schools are no match, really, for St. Francis Xavier. It's true that when they come to Accra, the performance we expect of St. Francis Xavier, I mean, they've been to the finals before, they've been to semi-finals. They're a big name. Not anymore, though, but over here in this contest, I'm sure it should be easy for them to move on to the second stage.
Absolutely, and hope would not be lost on the three schools.
Certainly. I'm sure the boys from Francis Xavier are also preparing.
Absolutely.
I don't think they thought that since it's against these three schools, they've already won. They will certainly prepare. And I'm sure the three other schools, Lambousier, Wasek, and Logo, are also preparing.
Absolutely.
We are ready for upsets. The competition shows that every time people get eliminated, people who expect to be in Accra don't come. Remember, St. Francis Xavier lost some years ago to St. Ignatius of Loyola.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but at that time, they were last year Tuolo, not St. Ignatius. So it's happened before. It can happen again. But basing it on their recent performance, then you will say that they would easily qualify.
So contest 3, it seems we have another familiar face over here, Jirapa Senior High School.
Yes.
Can you walk us through this fixture?
Yeah, so Jirapa qualified in 2019. They are up against Ermont Senior High Technical School, Pina Senior High School, and Jamiat Islamic Girls Senior High School. Now, something interesting happened last year. Jirapa qualified with 34 points. Ermont, in their contest, gets their final score, -3.
Wow.
Was their final score. Pina, -1. And then Jamiat Islamic, 5 points.
And they were all in the same...
Not in the same contest, but in their respective contest, these were their final scores. So if you are to base the outcome of this contest on history, then I'm sure your guess is as good as mine.
Maybe they've gone to rewrite the history.
Well, it's possible.
Let's look at contest 4 there. We have Laura again.
Yes.
Wa Islamic. We have Yulo Senior High School and Kalio Senior High Technical School.
Yeah.
A thoroughfare for Laura?
Not exactly. I think Kalio Senior High Technical School can pose a threat to Laura Senior High School in this contest.
Why do you think so? You would say past experience favors Laura?
Certainly. They qualified in 2019, but Kalio is a good school too. Over the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen ULO improve in their scores at a regional level. And I'm sure they are also hoping that they can qualify to the national championship in 2020. I want to write off Wa Islamic Senior High School either.
Okay. The 5th contest, we have Northern Star Senior High School, Katon Senior High School, we have Nandom Senior High School, and Tia Ahmadiyya Senior High School.
Yeah.
Again, Canton is going through.
I think it will be between Canton and Nandom. Yes, wow. I think those two schools will battle for the spots from that contest. Canton used to qualify. Last year they failed to qualify. Nandom is also not new to the national championship. All of them are hoping to come again in 2020. So this contest is one that we need to watch in the Upper West region.
And finally, the 6th contest.
Yes, the state contest, Holy Family, Dafiama, Tumu, and Wa Technica, it should be pretty easy for Dafiama to qualify to the next stage of the competition. And, you know, as I mentioned, the 6 winners of these contests are not coming to Accra just yet. They need to compete at a second stage where the winners of those 2 contests and 2 highest scoring losing schools will also make it. So among the 6 winners, 2 of them will not come to Accra.
Absolutely, absolutely. We wait anxiously to see which of them will join us in Accra for the national fiesta. Away from Upper West region, but still in the north, let's look at the fixtures in Northern region, Northeast, as well as Savannah region. Stephen, we have a pretty different situation over here due to the restructuring of the regions. We have Northern region, Northeast region, as well as Savannah put together. Northern region, we have 5 contests that's going to happen over there between February 19 and February 20. Walk us through the fixtures we have here.
Yes, so it's good you mentioned, because, you know, in the past, we had all the schools from the Northern region coming to compete for the slots. But with the creation of the new regions now, the schools from Northeast have their own contest, schools from Savannah have their own contest, and then the schools from the Northern region have their own contest, just so that each region is represented at the national championship in Accra. So for the Northern region, first contest, we will have Pont Tamale Senior High School. They qualified in 2019. They are up against Kumbungu Senior High School, Presec Tamale, and Ambaria Senior High School. Pont Tamale qualified in 2019 from the regional level with 21 points, their first time qualifying for the national championships. It will be a contest to watch, because certainly they will face some strong opposition from Presec Tamale. It will be a very exciting contest, I think.
Absolutely, and I'm sure contest 2 is also going to live up to expectation, where we have Zabzugu Senior High School, Northern School of Business, another familiar face. We have Karaga Senior High School, Gushegu Senior High School, and Tatale EP Senior High School. Zabzugu will carry the day, in my opinion.
Well, Northern School of Business qualified in this contest in 2019.
This is a business-oriented school.
Yes, but I think somehow they also have a focus on science, because they've been qualifying. 2019, they were here in Accra, the national championships. In fact, they made it to the 1A stage of the competition at the national championship in 2019. This contest will be a tough one. Zabzugu, not a bad school at all, in my opinion. Even same as Gushegu Senior High School. So I think it will be an exciting contest over there. Maybe Karaga and Tatale EP will have to be spectators in this contest.
I'm sure all students of these schools won't be happy with what you say. They may pull a surprise.
It's possible.
And you know, the National Science and Math schools thrive on that.
Sure. We love the surprises. Remember, in 2019 at the National Championships, 17 out of the 27 seeded schools lost their seats. So we are all ready for those surprises. But sometimes too, you need to look at track record and history in the competition. That also counts, in my opinion.
Fixture 3, which schools do we have there?
Yes, so we have Yendi Senior High School, Savelugu Senior High School, Tamale Girls, Willensi Senior High School, and then a new entrant, Dabukpa Senior High School. Remember, Yendi Senior High School, they were at the prelims national champions. They lost to CAS. Remember, Kumasi Anglican, those 2 boys from
formidable team.
Yes, from Kumasi Anglican. Savelugu also tried their best at the regional competition in Tamale, but it should be pretty easy for Yendi to make it if their team is well composed. They have been qualifying year on year. It shouldn't be too difficult for them to make it this time.
Absolutely. And fixture 4 also have Tamale Islamic Senior High School, Bandai Senior High School, Vitin Senior High School, as well as Business Senior High School, another business-oriented school over here.
Yes.
How is this fixture going to? You have witnessed them compete before.
Yes.
And based on experience, which of them do you think may have a thorough fare?
Well, in 2019 in Tamale Islamic and Business were in the same contest. Tamale Islamic won that contest.
History repeating itself
25 points against 19 points from Business Senior High School. And I think over the last couple of years, every year, Tamale Islamic Senior High School, they qualify. But I also remember that Business Senior High School, they've also qualified to national championship before. So it will be interesting to see how this contest for the Northern region, how that will also pan out. It may look like an easy win for Tamale Islamic, but that is not going to be the case. I'm sure Business Senior High School also really want to come back to Accra for the championship.
Certainly.
And it will be nice to see what the final score will be in that contest.
And February 20, the last contest for the Northern region. Which schools are there and how is this going to pan?
Yeah, so that contest features Carl Pohin Senior High School. You know, they call the school Kalisco. Carl Pohin Senior High School against Dagbon State, Tolong Senior High School, and St. Charles. Now, in 2019, again, history, at the regional level, the last contest in Tamale featured Carl Pohin, then coming into this contest as the highest scoring losing school in the region, Dagbon State and Tolong. Final scores, Carl Pohin 28, Dagbon State 10, Tolong 12. So among the first three schools, it looks like Carl Pohin has an upper hand. They've been qualifying to national championships. But St. Charles Seminary haven't qualified to the national championships in a while. Very good school too. Yeah. So I think, in fact, when we conducted the balloting, when Carl Pohin balloted first, Dagbon State balloted, the teacher was excited. The teacher from Carl Pohin, very excited because history was repeating itself. Yeah. Now Tolong picked and he was very excited, jumping all over, thinking that, oh, he's won again. Then St. Charles picked. And now he had to calm down because he knew that St. Charles hadn't qualified in a while. They have been preparing secretly. Absolutely. So this contest is one that I think they will have a sleepless night. Right. But let's see how the final score will be like.
Very well. So 5 contests in the northern region.
Yes.
And the various winners will join us at the national level.
Yes. So there's no two-stage competition here.
Once you win, Upper West region.
Exactly. Once you win, you come into Accra.
Very well. But let's look at the other ones in the region, in the same area. So we have Northeast as well as Savannah. Yes. So in each of these regions, we have a single contest.
Yes.
So any of the schools that win in this competition come to contest at the preliminary stage of the competition at the national. So in the Northeast, we have 4 schools. Which of them are there, and which one do you fancy going through easily?
Well, in 2019, again, at the regional level, Nalergu Senior High School, Walewale Senior High School, Bumpurugu Senior High School, they were in the same contest. The 3 of them were in the same contest. This is the first time Nakpanduri Senior High School is competing in recent years. Now, the final score in 2019, Walewale 28 points, and then 7 points for Nalergu and Bumpurugu. And you remember, Walewale Senior High School qualified to the national championship in 2019. So if you are basing
on experience,
then I think Walewale Senior High School is likely to win that contest. But somehow, in 2019, at the regional level, Nalergu, Walewale, and Bumpurugu were in the same contest. Walewale won that contest with 28 points. Nalergu and Bumpurugu had 7 points each. So if you are basing that, the final score this time too on experience and on history, then it appears Walewale may win this contest based on the experience they've gathered both at the regional level and qualifying to the national championship last year.
You know, it's not only about winning the competition, winning this contest, but also making history, because these are new regions that have been created, and they would want to make a mark that, yes, I was a school to qualify to the nationals when the regions were created. I'm sure same would apply to Savannah too.
Yes, so in this contest, Salaga Senior High School, they qualified in 2019 to the national championship. And in fact, the regional level last year, they were in the same contest with T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School. This school is also located in Salaga, so it was a Salaga derby. Now, Salaga Senior High School won that contest with 19 points. They came to Accra and lost to St. Ignatius of Loyola at the preliminary stage. Now, in that contest in 2019 in Tamale, Salaga won with 19 as against 14 points from T.I. Ahmadiyya. Now, Damango did not compete last year at the regional level, same for Indira Jakpa. So they don't really have the experience yet. So it may be a 2-horse race for Salaga and T.I. Ahmadiyya Salaga. I don't know which school would win, but definitely a school from Salaga will win the contest.
But we have been speaking to some of the teachers of these various schools as to what they make of the pairing, and this is what they have to say.
From my observation, the balloting has gone on well, only that many of the competitions that we had last year has repeated. The schools that were paired against each other has repeated. So we hope that the rivalry between them when that competition was held last year will repeat and even become better. So I believe this year's competition will be a bit more lively. Once the competitors are familiar to themselves.
Well, actually, my friend here last year, they whipped us. So this year, once again, we are in the same group with them, and then we are not going to give them opportunity. So we are going to fight hard, do our homework well, so that at the end of the contest, we definitely go to our class. We are going.
Well, it wasn't just whipping. We buried them. So I'm thinking that they will actually resurrect. Because the kind of beating that we gave to them was not easy.
Yeah, actually, we were Ninos, and we came with year 2, second years. So definitely, by now we have covered enough, so that you are coming with your freshers. We have experience.
Okay.
We are coming with experience students.
Okay.
So definitely, we are going to be victorious.
Okay. Let's wait for the 20. What is the name? 19th. 19th will surely tell.
Thank you.
So the 3 regions in total, they have 9 slots, but 2 have already been picked.
Yes.
We have Tamale Senior High School as well as Ghana
Senior High School, Tamale.
So they have already booked their place
Sure.
at the National Science and Maths Quiz this year.
Sure.
So these ones will be fighting for the remaining 7
slots.
We wish them all the best.
Sure.
But I want to find out from you quickly, what should be the expectation? You'll be going to the grounds. What should we expect, or what should our viewers expect from these competitions?
Well, I think first of all, the contestants should expect exciting questions. That's how the consultants call the questions. Very nice and exciting questions. We hope that they can also attack the questions, solve the questions with so much excitement. You know, a lot of work goes into setting these questions. So when sometimes they are not able to answer these questions, it breaks our hearts.
Yes.
The questions are like the babies of the consultants. So when the students are able to take good care of them, it breaks our hearts. They should also expect some more excitement at the regional level. Questions are going to be same level like the prelims. So if you can make it in your region, certainly you can make it in Accra. We have other exciting things we'll be announcing ahead of the regional competition. So I think everything is in place. We are starting on the 10th of February in Takoradi. So we just can't wait for the day to come when we will start the 2020 regional competition of the National Science and Maths.
So this particular competition, where is it going to be staged?
So schools from Northeast, Savannah and Northern region will come to Tamale Senior High School.
Okay.
So the Assembly Hall of Tamale Senior High School, 19th and 20th of February. That's where we are going to be.
Absolutely. But before I let go of you, I would want to find out from you, we usually have the SciTech Fair,
Sure.
which is now part and parcel of the competition. Sure. In fact, because of that, that is why the competition itself is called the National Science and Maths Quiz and Science Festival. Are we going to see this fair organized at the various regions this year?
Yes. So every year, alongside the regional competitions, we also have the SciTech Fair in the region. So it's going to take place in the Upper West region, same premises, WAS Senior High Technical School. The SciTech Fair will take place 12th of February at WAS Senior High Technical School. In the Northern, Northeast, and then Savannah regions, it will take place on the 20th of February. Same school, Tamale Senior High School. A number of schools have signed up with some projects they want to put on display. So we're also ready to see what they have, and then we'll see how we can also support these students to actually realize their dreams, move their projects from the prototype stage to the production stage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Stephen, I'm most grateful you could join
Thank
me.
you.
And you have been having a discussion with the program coordinator for NSMQ, Stephen Yankee. And if you haven't made up your mind to join us at Tamale for the competition, please do. If you're an old student of any of those schools, please make a date with us at Tamale Senior High School. Support your school to victory. And probably they may be walking away with the bragging rights as champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz. I'm grateful you could join us today. Make sure you join us tomorrow with another exciting edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz review show. My name is Emmanuel Jivenu, and we came to you from the Primetime Studios here at Ashali Boche in Accra. Dominus Bosco.